If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
Chances are, you know the story of Super Bowl 51. Or at least, the final version of it.
Here's Edelman broken up, and the pass. Edelman comes down with a football, and they're saying it's a catch.
And Patriot fans, or anybody out there who thought that Brady was the issue in the first half and that Garoppolo could do any better, you know, whatever you're smoking, I don't know what you're smoking, because that's crazy talk. This is crazy talk. He threw for 800 combined yards in the AFC Championship game in the Super Bowl against the Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons. And the Atlanta Falcons were destroying every quarterback that they were facing this postseason. They bounced Russell Wilson, and they took the guy who was playing the hottest I've ever seen in the history of my covering the NFL in Aaron Rodgers and made him look pedestrian. And they were doing that to Tom Brady in the first half, too.
This is a tie game.
And as we capture it in our hearts, we make it our own.
In a comeback for the ages, Patriots beat Falcons in a heart-pounding Super Bowl. By Jim McBride, Globe staff.
Don't do it to prove them wrong. Do it to prove you right. He did it to prove. He says, I'm still great. You think my greatness has to do with a football. My greatness has to do with this and this.
Correct.
Because I can outthink you, and I got heart that I will not quit. So the footballs, give me a bowling ball. And if that guy has a bowling ball, I'll beat him. Give me a cannonball. If he has one of those, I'll beat him at that too.
The only time I've lost in the last 3 or 4 years was those Atlanta Falcons.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong. By Doug Kyde.
Skip, for me, and I told you this, and you looking at me like, I said, going into this game, win, lose, or draw, he's the greatest quarterback that's ever, because I'm not a one-game guy. I'm looking at his body of work. Joe went to 4 Super Bowls in 16 years. Tom went to 7 in 17 years. Okay, advantage Tom. Tom won 4, Joe won 4. He was a 3-time MVP in the Super Bowl, so was Tom. Tom was a 2-time league MVP, so was Joe. Okay, now you start looking, Skip, okay, what about the division titles? What about the AFC Championship games that Tom's appeared in? 24-9 going into that game. So for me, he was already the greatest quarterback, but I told you this also. I said, Skip, if he wins this game and he's the MVP, he passes Jerry, he passes LT, and a lot of people say Jim Brown. Tom Brady is the greatest football player in the 97-year history of the NFL.
What would you have won if the Falcons won the Super Bowl?
$100,000. I bet $100,000 on them. And listen, let me tell you something. I was drunk at halftime. I was doing shots. Hey, I was up 28-3. I was feeling it. And then one of my friends, Roy Green, says, yo, man, the game's not over yet. I said, dude, we're up 28-3. and then he says, no, man, the Falcons are playing not to lose. They're trying to walk the ball up and down the court to let the shot clock go down. And he was 100% correct.
Patriots players were asked throughout the week if Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. The answer is yes and yes. Absolutely yes.
There's nothing else to debate. You can get a Harvard-educated lawyer. You can get one from the John Jay School of Law. Nobody can argue this. The fashion in which he did it and the body of work, his resume is extensive. 14 division titles, 2 Super Bowl, 2 league MVPs, a 5,000-yard passing season, 5 Super Bowls, 4-time he was the Super Bowl MVP. In the past 2, the way he's come back in dramatic fashion. What are we do? He has the highest total passing yards in NFL history in the Super Bowl. 43, 45 of 63, 466, 2 touchdowns. When it mattered the most.
You mean last
in this game.
Yeah, but this is, you were just talking about what you said last week.
Yeah. I'm saying if he had won this game, he was going to be the greatest player. He was going to pass Jerry because I gave it to, I thought Jerry and LT. I go back and forth between Lawrence Taylor and Jerry Rice. Throw Jim Brown in there because what he did in the 9 years he played.
Yeah.
But Skip, now for me, it's Tom. What are we debating?
Okay.
And as soon as Brady got the ball for the last time,
you knew it was over.
I know.
You knew it was over.
Damn.
And when they had the ball and on the first play, they got sacked and New England called the timeout. All they had to do was run the ball 3 times.
I know.
Make New England use up their 3 timeout, kick a field goal, the game is over. I mean, Dan, that was so heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking.
Well, at least did you sober up in the second half?
Well, no, I just got drunker. Listen, that's one thing about gambling. You drink when you're going to win, but you drink more when you're going to lose.
In third quarter, I was going to turn it off. I was like, I'm not wasting my entire day and night watching the game that's going to get you out of control. You went from that moment to an epic overtime victory by the Patriots.
Coming back from a 28-3 deficit with 8 minutes and 31 seconds left in the third quarter seemed completely impossible to even the most logical human beings.
That was the best game I've ever seen in football world.
Yeah, I had about 800 words written at that point, and I was just waiting to top it off with a lead.
I probably had a good 600 words written already about how the Patriots were outclassed and they couldn't handle the speed on either side of the ball.
The story idea was going to be 3 reasons why the Patriots lost.
Kind of an obit to a dream season.
Gonna be a hell of a story. Hell yeah.
I believe you might have sung a different tune if his play had continued down the path it took last night for the first 2.5 quarters. If he had had an ugly Super Bowl loss on the order of 42-10, and it dropped him to 4-3 in Super Bowls, and Joe was 4-0 in Super Bowls.
But he only got to 4.
Okay, but I still say you might have sung a little different tune. You might have said, you know what? I don't know. Maybe we need to rethink this a little bit.
No, we would have looked, and early on, I mean, if it was anybody else, we was like, man, Brady choking today. Because the pressure was immense, because of what he was going for, what he had gone through just to get to this point. Mm-hmm. He missed a quarter of the season. He came back, and it was like he had never left. Okay, now he's going for 5.
Brady was astoundingly brilliant in the second half and put on a fourth quarter performance that was incredible even by his lofty standards.
5 Super Bowls. He's going to be the MVP. So for me, even if he had lost, Skip, 7 is more than 4. So you mean to tell me because a guy goes to 4 and he wins all 4 of them, that's more impressive than a guy going to 7 in the same amount of years?
Yeah, I mean, I would have an issue with it. I told you I needed to see one more to close the deal and one more MVP. Skip, the man was 20, I got it.
The man was 24-9 going into this game.
Hey,
but we're going to talk about this.
I covered Joe Montana, and I knew him enough to know he was really special now. And he should have been 4 for 4 in MVPs. Jerry got the one on early vote because he broke the receiving record, 215 yards. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's go bigger picture now. I still say, as I sat back last night and looked at this, that Tom Brady is not receiving enough credit for his Super Bowl resume.
Realizing my potential has been what my career has been all about. Things that I've dreamed about have actually come true.
And the Patriots have won Super Bowl 36. Unbelievable.
Things have happened in my life as I kind of hoped they would happen. It's been, I mean, just a complete evolution. You know, how I just kept kind of fighting and clawing to continue to power forward. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you keep trying to make progress.
He completed 21 of 32 passes for 234 yards and a touchdown in just the final quarter plus.
Which included a 91-yard game-tying drive because he needed to add something this insane to his already ridiculous resume.
The Falcons stalled after 4 plays, and the game headed to overtime. The Patriots won the coin toss, and there was no turning back.
Once the Patriots won the OT coin toss, it was over.
He was going to lead them on a game-winning overtime drive because there's no other possible conclusion to this game.
Those were the words that were published, filling websites and sports pages alike, immediately following Super Bowl 51.
He also throws a really sweet football. He threw some last night where I was like, wow.
When the Falcons went up 28-3, I had most of what I wanted to write at that point. Once they started to put points on the board, it was, all right, it's not a blowout anymore, so you can't write about that. Now you have to start writing about how they started to mount the comeback.
And then the snowball just started happening. They started playing well. And then Hightower did have that strip sack, and that's when I thought, I better scrap it here and start writing something different.
Of course, some members of the press were more eager for a rewrite than others.
I'm based here in Atlanta, and my first thought was, I can't believe this. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I mean, I've lived in Atlanta since 1985 covering sports, and I've seen choke after choke after choke.
Tom takes the snap, hands it to White, up the middle, touchdown Patriots!
As soon as he converted on that two-point conversion, and it was tied up 28-28.
After a rally that was next to impossible.
That's when I was just went.
Toss to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
So what I immediately did was I pushed it all down at the bottom of the page.
I remember I had two versions on my screen, the double screen going at one point.
Didn't hit select all, delete, kept that tab as it was, opened up the new one.
The light bulb clicked, you know, don't delete it. This is going to be fun to go back and read it later.
Patriots win the Super Bowl! Brady has his fifth! What a comeback!
That's when a game becomes a part of us. Forever.
Oh my God! I love you guys!
Love you, baby. That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day.